Alright, guys, I'm going to show you how I make black and whites utilizing Lightroom. Got a nice picture here. Although it is a low-res image, I'm going to do the best I can with turning this into a pretty dynamic black and white. You've got a few options in Lightroom. You can click on the black and white and it just flips it. I guess it desaturates it, which is not the best route to go. A lot of people like to slide the saturation down and make a black and white. It's also not the best route to go. Everything still looks muddy. There's no rich blacks, no nice whites. What I do like is this little black and white feature right here. Come over here and click the black and white. And what this is going to allow you to do is going to allow you to control each individual color within this image. So all the greens that were down in here, we're actually going to be able to control how they're going to look. So I'm going to start with the greens because I know there's a large portion of this image with green. Now, if I slide it one way or I slide it another way, you get to see the different results. And it's really up to you on the results that you want. What I'd like to do is have a nice rich black base with a nice fluffy popcorn type of a look on the top. So I'm going to head toward this direction on the darker side. And let's see what else we got going on in here. We've actually got some blues, some aquas, and let's see. What I think I'm going to do is utilize the aqua to create some highlights in my black areas and then bring this green down some more. Really bring some shadows, some blacks into that. So it's kind of a neat look. It's going to give you that detailed black look instead of just a black mass. There's probably some blues going on. Oops. We got blues in the tree itself and the blossoms. That's going to be fantastic. That's going to allow me to make some popcorn out of that. If I bring it down, you see it turns to gray. Helps bring out whatever blue hue cast was going on in this image. Just popped some of that right out. And we've got some purple going on. I'm going to actually utilize that. And very little magenta in this little area right here. And what I'm going to do with that, instead of lose it, I'm going to increase it to show that little bit of highlight on that little bush right there, so it doesn't turn into a solid area once again. Let's go back up and see what's going on in the red area. We've got some reds in the background, and I don't want to mess around with that too much. I kind of like it right where it is. Orange, that's our sunset. Now, if we come dark in the background, it's going to make that tree pop out. If we go light in the background, it's also going to help. I think I like it better this way. I'm going to give it a try this way. I can manipulate that later. And then, of course, yellow is our entire background, our grass. I think I'm going to go on the high side here, get some nice grass detail so I can see all these branches and bring some detail. So if I go the other way, you're going to see it's really kind of muddy. So let's bring it up this way. So that's just our first step. This is going to give us kind of a starting point, and a better starting point than just switching it to a grayscale and add some contrast and whatnot. And you could check out the before and after by just hitting the backslash or backspace. So far, it looked good as a color, a little less, nice little sunset behind it, but this is going to end up turning into a great black and white. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to mess around with a few things. The recovery is going to tone down my highlights, and if I do that, it kind of adds a little more detail. Let's see, I may come back and change my mind on that later. Fill light is going to just take my blacks and turn them gray again. So I'm really not thinking I'm going to use any fill light here. The black slider, be careful with this one. A little goes a long way. You can see I've only got 15 on here and it's already losing a lot of its detail, but I like maybe 8, maybe a 7. Let's type in a 7. Still retain detail in these bushes. All these branches now are going to start coming through by increasing our blacks just a bit. Going to bring a little bit of contrast up, and see if you go too far, it's just not good. You're going to lose all your detail. So let's bring it all the way down, makes it back to where it was. So let's kind of get it right in the middle, I kind of float my sliders back and forth and feel it out to see what I like. Okay. Now, I still got to work to pop these whites, but the problem is I have a white background, so I don't want to go too white and then lose my background. So my background is really my white area now. I want some whites in the trees, but I also want some midtones to show some of the detail instead of blowing the trees out. So let's go over to the tone curve and check out the highlight slider and see what we can do with some of these highlights. See what happens. We lose all the detail and it blends into the background. It's not what we want. We come down, we lose the detail in the trees and the blossoms. So let's kind of go in the middle, somewhere where it's going to look good. And a little bit there looks pretty good. This gives us a difficult area to work. This tree with a dark background would make it absolutely dynamic, but we're going to do the best we can with what we have here. Our shadows, once again, you could still tweak it just a little bit so you don't lose the detail. You still want to get nice rich blacks, but retain detail down here. And darks, we can throw a little on that as well. Okay. Next, what we can do is, I don't know if this has been sharpened or not. I would normally throw some sharpening. Not really going to concentrate on sharpening this image. Maybe a little clarity just to break out, darken some of these lines, because clarity affects lines in the image. And by bringing the clarity up a bit, I kind of get a little more detail through these branches. But what I don't like is I want to pop out some more of this tree. I want it to look like popcorn. So what I may have to do is either bring this into Photoshop and dodge just midtones and some highlights, which I can't do here. I can burn and dodge, but I can't specify what I want to burn and dodge. So if I just dodge, I'm going to be lightening up. And all right, let's just do it. I'll show you how to do it, because if you don't have Photoshop, this isn't going to help you. So let's pick the dodge. Let's go kind of low on our flow and density. We don't want to be all the way up to the top. It'll make just a white patch. A nice feather, small brush. I don't know. And we can work in, I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. What I'm going to do, as you can see, I'm going to try to dodge some of these bright branches and just try to bring out some more detail. And let me bring the exposure up. Once you work on it, see, you can actually readjust where you've been. So let's kind of give it a little extra pop there and kind of go all around here where we would see more of these little, I guess blossoms you call them, buds. And just kind of go around. I'm just doing it randomly, trying not to go over any shadowed areas, and kind of just bring out some more details in this tree. And right in here is good, because look at that. We got nice dark behind there. It makes that really pop out nicely. Right down here where it's got some contrasting lines. And let's see how that looks. We'll do a little before and after. I think that's looking pretty good for black and white. And I don't think I would really touch anything else. Let me just take a quick look at it here. Put you on hold. Another thing you could do is I switch to the burn mode. I'm going to go and I'm going to zoom in, and you're going to see that the resolution is kind of low on this. But if I go into the burn mode, that's going to darken. I'm going to go up a little bit, about in the 80s here. I'm just going to find these branches. I'm just going to burn around these dark areas. Now in Photoshop, I would be burning shadows only, and it would not, and I can actually put auto mask on. What auto mask is going to do is going to help you stay within the lines. So if I want to burn just the branches, it will not fall through onto the to the buds. And here I get nice, little more rich detail in the blacks by burning these dark branches, and with auto mask it'll separate it. And you pretty much gotta, it's tedious, but you know, if you want to look right, you gotta put a little bit of time into it. I'm going to go ahead and do some more of this, put you on hold, and I'll be back when I've got most of it done. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm not going to make a masterpiece out of this. Take a step back and take a look here. See how much more detail these branches give against the white blossoms. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to dodging again. I'll just make a new brush, go to dodge, and I'm going to go back into 4:1 here, and I'm going to start and increase that a little bit, dodging some of these little bulbs, these little blossoms here, just to create some more highlights and make these things really pop out. And I'm just going to be going in little bunches here throughout the entire tree. So I'm going to put you on hold while I do that and bring you back in just a sec. Okay, I think I'm going to stop right there. Let's pull it out. Alright, so now we've got some nice dark branches. We've got some nice puffy buds. We've got nice rich blacks in our greens in our trees and our shrubs. So we turned our color image into a nice black and white full of contrast and life. And that's pretty much it. I would do it a little differently in Photoshop, but for Lightroom, still did a pretty good job. Thanks for watching.